आए हनुमान महामुनि ज्ञानी हो। अरे कहवा से आए भवानी, कहाँ से काली मैया, कहाँ से भैरव बाबा हो। अरे कहवा से आए हनुमान महामुनि ज्ञानी हो। पूरब से आए भवानी, पूरब से भैरव बाबा हो। अरे पूरब से आए भवानी, पूरब से भैरव बाबा हो। अरे पश्चिम से आए हनुमान महामुनि ज्ञानी हो। अरे पश्चिम से आए हनुमान महामुनि ज्ञानी हो। अरे कहवा से आए भवानी, कहाँ से काली मैया, कहाँ से भैरव बाबा हो। अरे कहवा से आए हनुमान महामुनि ज्ञानी हो। अरे कहवा से आए हनुमान महामुनि ज्ञानी हो। घरवा चढ़ावे भवानी, निधिया काल मैया, निधिय भैरव बाबा हो। घरवा चढ़ावे भवानी, निधिया काल मैया, भैरव हो बाबा हो। अरे रोट चढ़ावे हनुमान महामुनि ज्ञानी हो। अरे रोट चढ़ावे हनुमान महामुनि ज्ञानी हो। अरे कहवा से आए भवानी, कहाँ से काली मैया हो। हृदय बैठावे भवानी, घरवा महाकाली, अंगन भैरव बाबा हो। हृदय बैठावे भवानी, घरवा महाकाली, अंगन भैरव बाबा हो। अरे मंदिर बैठावे हनुमान महामुनि ज्ञानी हो। अरे मंदिर बैठावे हनुमान महामुनि ज्ञानी हो। कहवा से आए भवानी, कहाँ से काली मैया, कहाँ से भैरव बाबा हो। अरे कहवा से आए हनुमान महामुनि ज्ञानी हो। अरे कहवा से आए हनुमान महामुनि ज्ञानी हो। कहवा से आए भवानी, कहाँ से काली मैया, कहाँ से भैरव बाबा हो। अरे कहवा से आए हनुमान महामुनि ज्ञानी हो। अरे कहवा से आए हनुमान महामुनि। दुर्गा चालीसा। नमो नमो दुख दुर्गे सुख करनी, नमो नमो अम्बे दुख हरनी। जय अम्बे जगदम्बे,
जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
शशि ननत मुख महाविशाला, नेत्र नाथ भरि देख को स्वर्ग पधारो।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
लक्ष्मी रूप धरे जगमाहि श्री नारायण अंग समाहि।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
क्षीर सिंधु में करत विलासा कला सिंधु कीजे मन आसा।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
लाज में तुम ही भवानी महिमा अमित न जात बखानी।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे मैया जगदम्बे।
मातंगी धूमवती माता भुवनेश्वरी मंगल दाता।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
श्री भैरवतर जगताहि श्रीधरा भवतु करुणारणे।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
हे हरिवाहन को भवानी लंगुर वीर चलत अपनानी।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
घर में खाप रखत विराजे जाके दीख अलग आजे।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
सोही अस्त्र त्रिशूला जाते उठत शत दूरी शूला।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
नगर कोट में तुम ही विराजत की हो लोक में डंक बजावत।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
शंभु निशंभु राम तुम हमारा भक्त बीज शंकर तुम्हारा।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
महिषासुर नृपति भवानी तेहि भस भरम तुलानी।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
रूप कर काली का धारा सेन सहित तुम तीन तुम्हारा।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
अमर पूरी अनुबसव लोका तव महिमा सब रहे अतुखा।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
ज्वाला बिन शक्ति तुम्हारी।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
इन ध्यान धरो शंकर को काहू काल नहीं सुनो तुमको।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
शक्ति रूप कामर मन पायो शक्ति गणित समान पुष्टायो।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
शरणागत कीर्ति बखानी जय 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 जगदम्ब भवानी।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
भाई प्रधान आदि जगदम्बा ताही शक्ति नहीं जगदम्बा।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
मोको मातु कहत अति घेरो तुम बिन कौन हरे दुख मेरो।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
आशा कृष्ण निपत सतावे मोह मदात सब बिसरावे।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
शत्रुनाश कीजे महारानी तुम आशित तुम्हें गवाने।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
करो कृपा हे मातु दयाला रे दे कर हमें खाला।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
जगन की जियो दया फल पाओ तुम्हारो यश मैं सदा सुनाओ।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
दुर्गा चालीसा जो नर गावे सब सुख हो परम पद पावे।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
देवी दास शरण निज जाने करहु ध्यान जगदम्बा भवानी बोलो।
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
जगदम्बे
जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे जय जय अम्बे जगदम्बे।
शरणाता रक्षक करो भक्त रहे निश्चन का। मैं आया तेरी शरण में मातुली जय अंका। प्रेम से बोलो शिव दुर्गा माता की। प्रेम से बोलो श्री देवी माता की जय हो। नमो काल भैरो नमो काल भैरो नमो काल भैरो जय भवानी। नमो काल भैरो नमो काल भैरो नमो काल भैरो जय भवानी। जय 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 काल भैरो जय 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 काल भैरो जय 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 भवानी। जय 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 काल भैरो जय जय भवानी। जय जय माता काली। ओ नमो काल भैरो नमो काल भैरो नमो काल भैरो जय भवानी। नमो काल भैरो नमो काल जय जय काल भैरव जय जय भवानी जय जय माता काली जय जय काल भैरव जय जय भवानी जय जय माता काली तुम ही पूजा करूंगी नमस्ते तुम ही मांगते मैं पूजा करूंगी तुम ही नाम से मैं पूजा करूंगी फिर मैं फूल बहा करूंगी फिर मैं फूल और बहा करूंगी नमो काल भैरव नमो काल भैरव नमो काल भैरव जय भवानी ओ नमो काल भैरव नमो काल भैरव नमो काल भैरव जय भवानी बोलो जय जय महाकाल जय जय काल भैरव जय जय माता काली जय जय काल भैरव जय जय भवानी जय जय माता काली तू ही नाम से मैं दीपक जलूंगी तू ही नाम से मैं दीपक जलूंगी तुम ही नाम से मैं दीपक जलूंगी तुम ही नाम से मैं दीपक जलूंगी नमो काल भैरव नमो काल भैरव नमो काल भैरव जय भवानी नमो काल भैरव नमो काल भैरव नमो काल भैरव जय भवानी जय 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 काल भैरव जय 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 काल भैरव जय जय भवानी जय जय माता काली जय जय काल भैरव जय जय भवानी जय जय माता काली तुम ही नाम से मैं दीपक जलाऊंगी 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 ओ नमो काल भैरव नमो काल भैरव नमो काल भैरव जय भवानी ओ नमो काल भैरव नमो काल भैरव नमो काल भैरव जय भवानी जय 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 काल भैरव जय जय भवानी जय जय माता काली जय जय काल भैरव जय जय भवानी जय जय माता काली जय जय काल भैरव जय जय भवानी जय माता काली ऐसे बोलो काली माता की जय हो जय हो जय हो
अम्बा परमेश्वरी अखिलांडेश्वरी आदिपराशक्ति पालय माम् अम्बा परमेश्वरी अखिलांडेश्वरी आदिपराशक्ति पालय माम् अम्बा परमेश्वरी अखिलांडेश्वरी आदिपराशक्ति पालय माम् पालय माम् पालय माम् पालय माम् पालय माम् अम्बा परमेश्वरी अखिलांडेश्वरी आदिपराशक्ति पालय माम् अम्बा परमेश्वरी अखिलांडेश्वरी आदिपराशक्ति पालय माम् श्री भुवनेश्वरी राजराजेश्वरी श्री भुवनेश्वरी राजराजेश्वरी आनंद रूपनि पालय माम् आनंद रूपनि पालय माम् अम्बा परमेश्वरी अखिलांडेश्वरी आदिपराशक्ति पालय माम् अम्बा परमेश्वरी अखिलांडेश्वरी आदिपराशक्ति पालय माम् ब्रह्मचारिणि पालय मां शैलपुत्री पालय मां पालय मां पालय मां पालय मां पालय मां अम्बा परमेश्वरी अखिलांडेश्वरी हरिपराशक्ति पालय मां अम्बा परमेश्वरी अखिलांडेश्वरी हरिपराशक्ति पालय मां चामुण्डेश्वरी पालय मां शैलपुत्री पालय मां ब्रह्मचारिणि पालय मां
प्रेम से लो श्री आज शक्ति नव दुर्गा माता की। प्रेम से लो श्री भगवती माता की, गौरी मैया की। My dear devotees, welcome again to this, the continuation of our nights of Devi Utsav, celebrating Devi Ma. Let us clasp our hands and close our eyes as we meditate upon Adi Shakti Mahamata, the divine universal mother whose love knows no bounds, whose love is limitless and unconditional. Tonight we celebrate her, the divine mother, Bhavani Devi. As we worship to her tonight, with joy in our hearts, that we have all come to worship, and we are going home with a blessing this evening. Hari Om Sri Ganeshaya Namaha Sri Saraswatye Namo Namah Shri Ramachandraya Namaha Om Namah Shivaya Durga Devi Namostute Lakshmi Mata Namostute Kali Mata Namostute Ganga Maiya Namostute Hari Om Yam Brahma Varune Jarudra Maruta Stunvanti Divyaistavai Vedai Sangha Padakropanishaday Gayanti Yam Samada Dhanavastita Targatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Navidu Sura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Gurur Brahma Gurur Devo Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Dhyana Moolam Gurur Murti Puja Moolam Gurur Padam Mantra Moolam Gurur Vakyam Moksha Moolam Gurur Kripa Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalani Durga Kshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swadha Namostute Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Saranye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Om Shanti
शांति शांति हरि ओम।
प्रेम सरो भगवती माता की
जय।
It is told that when Divine Mother Sati desired to go to the Yagna of her father, Raja Daksh Prajapati, Bhagwan Shiva told, you must not go anywhere where you are not wanted. But you know, sometimes you will give an advice to someone, but they already make up their mind. They have premeditation of what they want to do, and they decide they will do it. So, Divine Mother, Adi Shakti, she says, I'm going. It's my father. If you don't want to go, because you have a problem, I'm going. He hamar baap tha. मैं जाऊंगी. So she's going. But Bhagwan Shiva says, my wife is going. He sends two accompaniment with her, Shringi and Bhringi. And they go with her. But when she goes there, everyone is giving her a cold shoulder. No one is greeting her with love or making joke or welcoming her. She come. You know, like when somebody come by your house uninvited and you really don't want them to come? She was being given that treatment. Then her father comes and says, what are you doing here? You're the wife of a vagrant. And being insulted, she, as we cut the katha short there, because you know we have tonight to read, she jumped into the fire as they were doing a yajna. When the messengers of Bhagwan Shiva, the accompaniment of Ma Sati, they went back and gave message, oh Bhagwan Shiva, your wife committed suicide. She jumped into the yajna homa, the fire of the yajna. Lord Shiva getting angry. He has matted locks, you know, hair like Rasta, as we say in Trinidad. He pulls out one of his locks and he throws it on the ground, and up came a form with 10 hands, red in color. Tripunda, called Bir Bhadra. And Bir Bhadra is telling, Master, what must I do? He said, go kill everybody. They killed my wife. And Bir Bhadra, he's going, accompanied by the armies of Bhagwan Shiva, all Bhoot, Pisach, Dakini, Sakini, Satan, everyone is going with Bir Bhadra. And Divine Kali Mata, the Adi Shakti, she accompanies him. This katha is not only in the Shiv Puran or the Devi Bhagavatam, it is also in the Ramcharitramanas. And as they enter, as they are going to the Himalayas, going to where Daksh Prajapati is, what happened? Stars began to fall from the sky. Comets began to shoot. Asteroids began to fall to earth. The sky became dark. All are looking, something is wrong. As Veer Bhadra is coming, volcanoes began to erupt and the earth began to shake. And as he enters into the Yagyashala, in the Yagya Bhumi, where they are having this yajna, they began to attack every devta, every person, because they have all contributed to the demise or the death of Sati. They held on to Bhrigu Muni and they cut off his beard. They hold Pulastya Rishi and they cut off they break out his teeth. They held on to Saraswati Mata and cut off her tongue. Beating the devatas. Bir Bhadra holds to Daksha. In the ancient days, they perform sacrifice of animal. And there was this piece of wood, where they place in the ground, and they will put the goat head on top of it, and they will chop it off. In many of the temples in the Shakti Peeth, you will see that place still there. And Veerbhadra takes Daksh and put him there and cut off his head, and he dies. Brahma rushes, crying, "Oh, my son is dead," begging. Bhagwan Shiva is very angry. They go to ask him to appease him. When Daksh's head was chopped off, his head fell in the fire and burned away. So how will they give back life to Daksh? They had already sacrificed a goat, a bakra. To give him life, they give him a goat head. A goat head Daksh was given. What does a goat head represent? His quality. He don't have any care because of his position. Goat will eat anything. You throw a piece of soap, then the goat will eat it and all too. That's all. He has no limitation to what he will do or what he will not do, because he's drunk in his own self. He's egotistical. So you are a goat-headed man now. But Lord Shiva, arriving there and seeing the charred body of his wife, he goes off, he goes insane. He loses his sense. You would know this feeling if ever your husband or wife dies, how you will feel seeing them lying there. Only when that happens, you will understand that feeling. And Pundit? True. People whose husband and wife is not dead cannot understand that, to see your wife or your husband lying dead. Lord Shiva goes mad. He takes up her dead body and put it on his shoulder, and he starts screaming and running like a madman with his dead wife on his shoulder. The devatas are saying, look how Bholenath has gotten crazy. Bhagwan Vishnu is instructed, destroy the body of Sati. Using his chakra, the body is cut into 52 pieces. And everywhere piece of her anatomy fell, there was born a Shakti Peeth, or a power place of the Devi. There are 52 of them in India. In the Devbhumi area of India, in Haryana, going up into the Himalayas, you will get many places. There is Chintpurni, Naina Devi, Bagla Mata. What happened? Her eyes fell in a place, and Naina means eye, and that became Naina Devi. Various parts fell. As Bhagwan Shiva is screaming and running crazily, and the body is being cut by the chakra of Vishnu Bhagwan, the left ankle fell in Calcutta, and there became the very famous and powerful place of Mahakali called Kali Ghat. That was where the left ankle of Kali Mata, of Devi Mata fell. Her reproductive organ fell in Kamakhya, and it became the most powerful Shakti Peeth, Kamakhya Mata. That mandir is so powerful that in the month of June, for 3 days they close that mandir, because that mandir is like a woman. Her time of flowering comes, and no one is allowed to enter there. From the walls itself, blood appears. For 3 days, it is told that is a private time of the mother. After which, all the siddhas, all the sadhus, all the devotees of the Devi go there to renew their Shakti, their power. People would go there and spend days and nights meditating on the Devi to gain her blessing. In Kamakhya, people will make all sorts of offerings. Some will give blood. Every day, blood is offered in Kamakhya. Some who will not want to sacrifice, they would take the kabutar, kabutar, pigeon, and they will go with it and offer it and let it go. And I have seen with my eyes, nobody telling me, this pigeon will go and fly on top the spire of the Kamakhya and sit there, and then it will drop down and die. The mother will take the offering herself. People will carry goat and offer, but not kill it, and they will let it go. And the little goats, they're running all over in Kamakhya, but no one will kill it. And people will go, bhaktas will go, and they will get grass and they will feed it as a seva. But that is their way of worshipping. Sanatana Dharma is all-inclusive, all-accepting. It does not judge its devotees in their manner of worship through their traditions. Every way is a good way, once you follow your way. Understand what I say? Every pathway is a good pathway, but you have to follow yours. If your family do not offer blood sacrifice, you're not supposed to enter into that. Today we see people telling you, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do the other. When you cross your lines, you get a shot. That is why today, people who do not belong to certain cultures in Sanatana Dharma, when they perform blood sacrifice and get into it, they destroy everything. I have seen it with my eyes. I don't have chelas or shishyas only in Trinidad, you know. I have chelas, the amount of money they have, they lose everything because of blood sacrifice. If you feel like lying, ask my drummer Randy, the kind of bedroom I used to sleep in when I go in Guyana. The kind of house I used to sleep in. When I go to do a Yagna, I had my private cook. I had my own people to wash one lady only washing my clothes and cooking for me. Anytime I want to eat, she has to cook for me. I had my own vehicle. It was no joke, you know. You could ask Randy. Randy raised your hand, let us show you. You could ask him if I'm lying, and he could tell you more. And because those people entered into blood sacrifice, which was not their culture, today that man who had so many wealthy people, so many people serving him and servants, today he is a delivery boy for a Chinese restaurant. Don't enter into what is not yours. You lose everything. Everything. You could imagine you get up in the morning and lota done full and put by the jhandi with flowers waiting for you just to go down and offer it. Offer gel. Your yard done washed down. Your car's washing every day. Flowers picked and put in basket inside your mandir, inside your house. Food done, cook and put down and waiting for you. And because you entered into something that was not yours, you lose everything. Don't let people fool you and make you do things, you know. What is not your tradition, you enter into it, you will get destroyed. I don't talk because I feel to talk. I tell you from my experience. One fella tell my chela in America, he said, your grandfather used to do blood sacrifice, you do it. So he called me, I'm the village Pundit, I know everybody history, I do everybody Peter Buck, I just call them grandfather and great-grandfather name because they don't know, the priest must know the lineage. So when they call me and ask me, I said, no, your great-grandfather never did those things because I have to know the lineage as your priest and call your ancestors' name when I perform Pitra Puja. So who tell you that? He said, if Allah catch up and he say so. I say, he feel into it goat meat. That's what happened with him. Came in our restaurants and buy a roti and goat for him. You know, Whatever is your tradition, follow it. Nothing is wrong with that. I don't judge anybody for tradition, and I'm not bad talking anybody tradition. You have to follow yours, but do not leave your one to take up a next one. There is where the jhanjat will start. You don't know the reason why and the repercussion of doing certain things. That when people enter into certain rituals, they tie themselves with sankalp, and the generations to come have to follow it. And if they stop doing it, they get destruction in it. And if you enter into it and it's not for you, you know, sometimes you take a medicine and it don't agree with you. Some chemical in the medicine raise your heart, make you get rash. So too is different cultures. If you don't follow what is yours, you could have an allergic reaction. So you don't believe me? Let people fool you, and then when you have jhanjat and trouble, then you go say, no, fella did say that in Sankhya TV, you know. Tonight, that Devi is so powerful. People have all different ways of worshipping to her, and it's all leading us to her. We must never judge however the devotee worships. It is from his or her heart. It is their tradition, and we must accept. Don't judge and don't hate. This is the beauty of Sanatana Dharma. Some people in Calcutta, you will listen to this katha tonight, and I'm going to not skip any line tonight. It's a short katha, because I will read a few slokas and explain it. Tonight I will just read Sanskrit and English. No Hindi. Hindi takes up your time. To explain to you and show you how every culture celebrates in Sanatana Dharma, that is, every part of India have a different way of worshipping the Devi. And I'll explain to you why. You see, Devi Bhagavatam, everybody wants to listen. But do you know the history of Devi Bhagavatam? Where it has come from? The Bengali area. Because in the Bengal, they worship the Devi the most. Everyone believes in her. And the tradition of Devi is worshipped all over India, but Bengal, it's like a national festival for these last 5 days. There's over, I can't remember, I think it's 31,000 Devi Murti go in one day. Something I was reading on the international news, going in one day to Visarjan. Can you imagine 31,000 murtis like that, bigger than that, going down in the roadway with people following it? Tonight, I always think of my guru. Yes, I have a Sabd Guru who will give me the mantras and guide me. But I have a Vidya Guru who taught me and who was a catalyst for me being here. As I always tell people, when my Aja taught me, after he reached a certain time, he said, I cannot teach you no more. Go to the Sadhu. That was my guru. He's a holy man, a Sadhu. I call him Sadhu. Go by Hira Sadhu, and he will take you from there. And so, by the direction of my Aja, I went to this Sadhu in our village, and he explained and inspired and made me outspoken, because he said truth has no color and has no favoritism. Truth is the truth. He's 106 years old. I still read with glasses. He don't read with glasses. He's just a weaker man now, so he doesn't come to Mandir. But he still is active and cognizant. And he taught me this beautiful Pachra. I always sing it, and I will always sing it to remember him and to be grateful for his teaching and guidance. This bhajan of the Devi was sung in Trinidad. My guru is a first generation. His parents are from Bihar. This bhajan was sung when people will go and mange Kali Mai ke bhik. And when they would get all the puja, sarjam and everything to perform the worship, they will begin to call the Devi. And the men will sing the pachara. And my guru told me that in Pierre Road, the next village from here, where he lived, in Tahadil Road, when they sat there and they began to sing Dolcheri, all you know Dolcheri? Dolcheri Nana, his name was Dubar. He used to play the drum and sing. And my guru used to chorus with him. And when they began to sing, to invoke the Devi, the chaya of the Devi will possess the woman in the village. And he told me, he said, the ladies manifesting the Shakti will just walk out of the house. They started puja yet, you know. The Avahan was a pachara to call the Devi. And she would come in the form of manifesting in the ladies in the village who would take part in the puja, pulling them to the spot where they would do Kali Mai puja. Kaune banwa bolele koyaliya, ta kaune banwa mora bole ho, ki maiya mori kaune banwa bole sahare sawa bawari maiya rath saate ho, ki maiya mori kaune banwa bole sahare sawa bawari maiya rath saate ho. लाल बन बोले ले को इलिया बिरिज बनवा मोर बोले हो, कि मैया मोरी वृंदा बनवा बोले, मैया मोरी वृंदा बनवा बोले साहरे सवा विंध्याचल मैया रथ साजे हो, कि मैया मोरी वृंदा बनवा बोले साहरे सवा विंध्याचल मैया रथ साजे हो। हंसे हंसी पूछे लाई मलिया की मैया कब हो सारज मैया से हो, कि देवी हो रहिया जो हट बीतल बेल रिया की ना हो, देवी हो रहिया बीतल डाले मोर उमरिया होला, ये दर्शनवा देवी हो, कि देवी हो रहिया बीतल डाले मोर उमरिया होला, रब दर्शन देवू साधा पहरिया रतिये साजती होत भोरवे पहुँचब हो, कि सेवका जोगिले मयापन गाबला कवाय सीता तोहके दैके जाई हो, कि सेवका तोह के दई के जाई जिंदगी हमैया सोना चांदियत दिन अब भजनवा दीहा हो कि मैया मोरी मोरे मन में लागल बा भजनिया चरनिया आयसी सदीहा हो कि मैया मोरी मोरे मन में लागल बा भजनिया चरनिया आयसी सदीहा हो कौने बनवा बोले नी कोइलिया त कौने बनवा मोर बोले हो कि मैया मोरी कौने बनवा बोले साहरे सवा भवानी मैया रथ काजे हो कि मैया मोरी कौने बनवा बोले साहरे सवा भवानी मैया रथ काजे हो So he's telling from which forest is the koyelia singing, from which forest is the peacock singing, from which forest is the Sahares bird singing. He says here, and where is a mother coming on her chariot? Lalaban bolile koyelia, in the red forest, Lalaban. The koyal bird is singing. Birij banwa more bole ho. Birij. But Birija, anybody named Birija is Bhojpuri for Vraj. So Birij meaning Vraj. From Vraj. There the peacock is singing. And in Brindabanwa bole Saharesawa. The bird called Saharesawa is singing in Brindaban. And Vindhyachal Maya Ratha Saje ho. And from the Vindhyachal mountain on a chariot, the mother is coming. And so the poet is telling, no matter time is going, come quickly. Devi ho rahiya beetal jale. Mor umariya ho ki kab darsanwa debu ho. Time is going. We are waiting to see you. Saja pahar ratiya sajab ki. In the evening, the chariot is prepared. Hota bhorave pahuchabaho. And in the morning she comes. Your children are bowing their heads at your feet. In this world we don't want no gold and we don't want no silver. All we want to do is pray, praise and sing your glories, O Mother. Tonight we have performed Kanya Puja. We are the only way of life in which children are so glorified and worshipped as God. Children. Today we have performed Kanya Puja. Kanya Puja is the worshipping of little children. Who is a Kanya? Can you explain that to me? A Kanya is a girl who has not reached what you call puberty. You understand what I'm saying? A girl who has not reached the age of puberty is worshipped as a kanya. This is why I advocate that in weddings you must stop doing kanyadan. In the ancient days, you see, I will read the katha, but I must educate you. Some people don't understand what kanya means, and they go to embarrass people. Kanya means a girl who has not started menstruation. You understand? In the ancient days, they would have weddings where children would get married. It was not a wrong thing, you know, and it's still not a wrong thing. You know why? Because families would find a family in which they can relate with. Then, if they say, okay, they have a son and they have a daughter, we could fix up a little thing, they go to the Pundit, they go to the Jyotisi, they go to the astrologer. Listen carefully, you know. The astrologer now will take the date and time of birth and look at the astrology of the boy and the girl and say, Ganna bait, meaning that the astrology has come to an agreement. This couple can get married. Now don't come with me this story that, well, how some Pundit check and it good, the last Pundit didn't check correct. That Pundit didn't check correct. Because astrology is so precise, that the astrologer will say marry or don't marry. And when he gives the blessing to get married, they will take their girl child and the boy child and they will fix a date now according to the astrologer. Not every Sunday is a good day to marry. Not every day is a good day to marry. Just because you have a long weekend, you don't just do a wedding. Some people vex with me, you know. Because I tell them, I'm not doing the wedding. This is not a time to get married, you know. It's a curse if you get married now. Now is time of vrat. You don't get married in a Ratri period, in any vrat period, in any spiritual fasting period. Not so, Pushpinder? And some Pundits are guilty of accommodating it because they want money. And you are causing the greatest problem in Sanatan Dharma. That is the weddings mashing up. If the vibrations are not there to invoke the gods, then there is no blessing. So they would marry the young girl with the young boy, and after which the boy will go home, the young boy, and the girl will remain at her parents' home. And when she's about 16 years or so, they would have what is called Gauna. Pushpinder, you ever see Gauna? You could ask him if I'm lying. They will have Gauna. Gauna meaning the boy family will come now with the Dulaha when they have grown up to about 16 years or 17 years or so, and they will come to the girl's house and they go have a little entertainment, a little get together. And then the girl will accompany her husband to his home and live there forever. Understand that? This is when the parents made the match with the priest. Nowadays, people make their own decision. And sometimes the Pundits have to say, okay, well, Joy Ram, Soy Ram. Haki nahi. But you're supposed to calculate. Sometime in astrology, if you don't have a good match, all the wealth will be away. Health can destroy. You can have children deformed. Astrology shows you this. So, Gauna was the second Sunday what all leaders have now. You don't need to have second Sunday. Don't go and bother the Pundit about this second Sunday thing, is waste of time. Which part in the book has second Sunday? No way. That is because you have extra money and you cook and eat and maja karo, you know. There is nothing like second Sunday and Wednesday to go home and come back That is when sometime they would have taken the girl to the home. You see the wedding night, when the children get married, sometimes the boy a bit older than the girl. Sometimes the girl is just 6 or 7 years and the boy is about 17 years, I think, But the astrology match. On the night when the wedding finished, both of them go into the room to sleep, but there is a lokani. Someone, what is lokani? Not somebody minding your business, but someone who ensures the purity of the girl remains. Why? Because if something happened to that little child, and that husband go home, and he dies at some time, who will want to marry her? So he ensures that she remains pure. You understand? So sometime after that night, the boy will go home and then come back. Sometime they would have taken the girl to the boy's home and the lokani will go. And then after a day or two, or a few weeks or so, she will come back with the girl home. That is where you always have on a Wednesday. That have no meaning. Let the people go on honeymoon. That is nowhere in the... People may get angry with me and say, he talking? He know where he talking? Well, get the book and show me the Viva Padati and see where it has Wednesday and second Sunday. Once you're married, you're married. Not so Pandit Pushpinder. He is from Jammu, Pundit. Ask him. So you don't have to go and do any of these things. When you see Sunday finish or whatever day you get married, it's done day. Save all the money. Give the children to pay down on a house or something. Don't go and kill any poor animal and drink thing with a bun your chest and thing. So this is what Kanya is, a young girl who is not in puberty age, an innocent child. So I'm just telling you this so you can understand what is Kanya. Right? So if nowadays people get married in their 20s and so forth, you are not a Kanya. So we don't need to do Kanya Dan. Because how could you worship someone who is not worshipable? You understand? You can give your daughter's hand in marriage, hold her hand and put in the dulaha hand and say, okay, but that is okay. Put in the loya and put in the stick of the coconut branch is all well and good, but you cannot go and wash her feet. You cannot go and put tika and arti her like a kanya because your daughter is not a kanya. You want to do kanya puja? Worship your children when they are young. Do the puja like this. That is a blessing. Understand? I hope you understand what is kanya now. And with weddings and so on, we're just wasting time with all this extra fetting. Time getting hard. Right? So it's not necessary. Even this Sunday morning when they had to go and get lawa and they go sing more tor and all kind of thing, and when they come and they mix the lawa, they go and fight and they say, look, they have a dance and they say, look, you never take me a lawa, they're going for it. That's not in no book, bhaiya. That the ladies long ago, when they get married, when they have wedding, the ladies never go barat. The ladies stay home, so they had to occupy themselves. And long time did not have hairdresser now, so them ladies just go there and they remain. Now all you have to go do hairdo and thing to. So that taking away all your time. That is not in the book. You don't have to do all these things. Kuarpat is not important because the dulaha is not a little boy to have kuarpat. Kuarpat is when you have a little boy, a young boy, and you get, that's why they bring 4 or 5 young boys to sit with the dulaha. Why did they bring big man? Because long ago was young boys was getting married. So kuar means a small boy, young boy. No? Kuar kanhai. That's what it means. You see, sometimes we do things and it doesn't have a meaning. Making you get her, only I had to get her when I had to marry and think I could have sleep an hour again and get some beauty now. All that thing wasting time. You do the hardy ritual and you move on from there. India has gone on, and India has cut out plenty of the rituals that we holding on to that doesn't make sense, And why are we holding on to things that don't make sense? You have to do the Haridi ceremony. That is a must. But you don't have to do all these little extra things because people don't have time and it's not part of the ritual. That is custom and things added on. So sometimes you don't understand what the thing mean in English, so you just go on with it. Yes, it had to do, and it had to do, and if it do it, this go happen, and nothing go happen. Understand that well. So we come to Katha, the worship of this Kanya. And so these children are brought to be worshipped. As we chant Sri Durga Sharanam Mama, let us hear what happens. Durga Devi ki! He said, Raja, listen. In the ancient days, when Kanya Puja will perform, Brahmin people will worship only to Brahmin children. Kshatriya people or the warrior caste will worship the Kshatriya children and Brahmin children. The Vaishya caste or the business class will worship to Vaishya children, Kshatri children or Brahmin children. And the artisan class will worship people from their own community only. He says, if a person cannot worship to the Kanyas every day, in the Navratri, every day you must worship to the Kanya. Some people will follow a custom where every day, because every day is represented by a Devi, will get a little child every day to worship of a different age, starting with the age of 2. Why do you get a 2-year-old child and not a 1-year-old child? Because the 2-year-old child is more cognizant. It can think more and understand eating. You know, sometimes children give problem to eat, and you bring the food now to feed them, and they don't know how to eat solid foods. They're crying and things happen. So you take them of an age where they will be able. Sometimes a 2-year-old child may not be as developed as yet to sit and eat and so. So you get the child who can understand this is food and I will eat, because you have to feed the child. So in the ancient days, they would worship the child every day, a Devi. But if people cannot do this every day, then they will choose the most auspicious day, the Ashtami, to perform Kanya Puja. I know over the years, we have not done it on the Ashtami because, you know, we try to accommodate people in the mandir, so we try to get it in the weekend so people can perform the puja. So the Ashtami is very, very powerful to perform the Kanya Puja. But so from next year, I don't care what day Ashtami fall, all you go come to perform Kanya Puja. We need to get the benefit. So we need as Hindus to make the sacrifice to do it. Why you do things when it doesn't have the benefit? There are certain days you can do it, and certain days, you know, you have to do one Devi at a time. So he says, in the ancient time, on the Ashtami, Bhadrakali, the goddess Mahakali, she appeared in a great form. And when she appeared in this beautiful form, on the 8th day, she destroyed the Yagna of Raja Daksh Prajapati. Remember I tell you, Kali Mata went with Veerbhadra. It was the Ashtami. And she took her beautiful form that I explained last night. But she was accompanied by the Chausat Yogini, the 64 yoginis. When these yoginis begin to dance, it is told, the universe begins to destroy. There is only one mandir of Chausat Yogini in India. The 64 yoginis. And it is told when Kali Mata went there, every yogini had 64 yogini in each eye. And each one of those in the eye had 64 in each one of their eyes. So they expanded and expanded and expanded and expanded till there was nothing but the yoginis. And taking that beautiful form of Mahakali, that was fearsome, frightful, hideous, yet it means so much. With all the 64 yoginis, she entered into the kingdom of Daksh Prajapati and caused havoc. So, one should worship on that day, as we have done, as the family has done, with garlands and incense and arti and food to the Devi on the 8th day, and perform Kanya Puja. You understand? Every day you can do it, otherwise you come and you worship and you perform Kanya Puja. On this day, you will offer meal to the Devi. Payasam. Payasam is a Sanskrit word. Payasam meaning kheer, mitha bhat, sweet rice. You make payasam to the Devi and you offer to her. But in some part of India, especially in Calcutta, they will offer fish as a meal to the Devi. Not so bad? And it is no sin for those people. If you go to India and you go to Calcutta and you go to Dakshineshwari Devi, lunchtime when they give meal, they give her machari. They give her fish to eat as a prasad, because the Bengali people, they believe fish is the vegetable of the ocean, because they were once a seafaring people who lived off of the swamp area of Calcutta. They were eating fish, and so that was their food. That is why I say Hindu must never judge anybody. People living in a certain area, that is the way they live. How many people in the Kashmir area are vegetarians and they are Pundits as well? Some of them eating, because the geographic area of India is so vast and so different, people have to adapt to the climate and live. So for those people who live, as I said, in certain areas, it is not a sin for them. How could God punish a person who is an Eskimo living in the North Pole and have to eat raw fish and whale to live? Is that a sin? No, that is the karma. So if you live in a place, that is your karma to live. We cannot judge, but you don't take them because they say fish and rice, tomorrow you go and the city Baba says so. No. What is your culture, follow yours. Don't take up nobody else's one. So I'm just explaining to you, in the Calcutta area, they will offer their different meal. But in the other parts of India, North India, like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, all these, Haryana, all these places, they will give kheer ke sohari, and they will give also puri. They will give, puri or sohari, or, they will make that and they will offer and give the kanya. Also, one food of the Devi that is offered is also khichdi. Khichdi is the food of the Devi. The pujaris of this mandir, as a tradition, when we will break our fast, we will have some kheer and then we will have some khichdi to break our fast, because that is the prasad of the Devi. So this is what is offered to the Devi. But when we perform puja on this day of the Ashtami, you must do havan, you must do offerings and offer a lot of flowers to the Devi and a lot of fruits to the Devi. Those people, O Raja Janmejai, who would fast on the Navratri will reap all the blessings to be accrued in life. And those who cannot fast will still reap the blessings of the whole 9 days if they fast for 3 days. What is the 3 days? The Saptami, the Ashtami, and the Navami. So if you cannot fast, when I say fast, that doesn't mean to go and buy dead thing in box and eat for the rest of the days and then say I go fast 3 days, Fasting is for Hindus, mean don't eat anything. You're supposed to drink water, eat fruit if you can, and go like that. If you cannot go like that, then you can have some heavier food like kheer, like sweet rice, some milk product diet then, but not whole day, a little part of the day, maybe 1 meal for the day. And if still maybe you're sick and you have to eat something, you can have one meal like a breakfast or a lunch or so, or eat in the evening as a dinner. Like some people come to the mandir and they will fast whole day, and in the evening when dinner is served they will eat. That is not a sin. Understand it well. And then there are some people who have diabetes and all kind of other sickness, and some people get virus. You are not allowed to fast. There is no sin. Your mind is in there. But then there is other people they call lobhi, greedy. The moment they smell roti, they get hungry. So they cannot fast too. So God will forgive them. So you can fast. So next year, if you didn't get to fast because maybe you were sick or you didn't know, and you know because of your job, sometimes it's very hard because of your job and you cannot fast. Some people have very strenuous work. But at least try as a good Hindu the last 3 days of the Navratri to fast. Make a sacrifice. And Vyas Muni says, if you can fast the last 3 days, you have acquired the benefit of the whole Navratri. What is fasting? Why do you fast? You have to understand Gita. When Bhagavan Krishna says, when you eat food, the finest part of the food that is digested becomes the food of the mind. There's a saying, there's a saying in English, you are what you eat. So when you're fasting, if you eat certain type of food, your mind begins to think differently. That is why you're not supposed to eat food that will cause you to have passion and anger and all sorts of desires. So you eat sattvic food without onion and garlic. And people say, oh God, how we do that? Well, every night you eat it here in temple and people eat in the food, nobody has said nothing. Our food don't have. Except if a devotee is cooking and they will cook with it because they can't cook with, like our style, they will bring the food here too. That's not a problem. But when we cook in this mandir, no onion and no garlic. And you eat it every day. So when you're fasting, onion and garlic, why do we stop you from eating when you're fasting? You have to know. Why do you stop certain things, don't eat certain things when you're fasting? Because it feeds your mind. It can give you desires that are not, divine, make you think otherwise and spoil your devotion. Let's leave it just so. All you can read and spell. So that is why now you eat food that will subdue yourself, your mind from negative thoughts and keep you pure. Water is like that. Water absorbs vibration. So when you're fasting, or you're going to drink coffee or tea or water, whatever you want to drink, you say your mantra over the water. So you put a vibration in it. And that vibration goes into the water and you drink it and it purifies you. And when it goes into the mind is thinking pure thoughts. So you eat fruits. You eat sweet rice. There are plenty of things you're not supposed to eat, but I'm not going to eat. But what I'm telling you what to fast. Also, when you're fasting, you're not supposed to eat anything that have ginger in it. except if you're sick and you have to take some tablet or some medicine to get your immune system up. But other than that, Parsad, your Mahanbhog not supposed to cook with ginger. Your sweet rice, when you child have it, not supposed to have ginger, because ginger is said is a heated thing, a bitter thing, and you don't offer bitter things to the god. It burns. So you can put spice and things, but you don't put ginger. Even in Parsad, the Mahanbhog you eat in this month, they have no ginger in it. So these are the things you do. You fast and you worship to the Divine Mother. And what are the 3 days you fasting? The last 3 days. And you will get all benefit. And what happens when you're fasting on these last 3 days? What blessings and what can we also do? What happens to us when we do the fast of the Navratri? Either for the 9 full days, or if you're incapable of doing the 9 full days, the last 3 days. There will be a time I may not be able to fast anymore, but I will have to struggle to do 3 days, the last 3 days. But while God has given me the permission, I will fast. But whenever that time comes and I can't make it again, I will have to do 3 days. But the benefit is the same. What are the benefits of fasting and praying to the Divine Mother? Now, when you make your dhar, let me go tell you this firstly. You make dhar to Durga Mata. Many people have different way of offering dhar to Durga Mata. Some people say don't put sindur. Some people put sindur. Some people say don't put dove grass. Some people put dove grass. Which is the correct way? This is the question. Well, bhaiya, whichever you follow, that is correct. Because you know why? Sindur represent desires. Everything in the dhar have a meaning. When I put this in it, it represents something. When I put rice, it represents prosperity. And you put rice. When you put clove, what does clove represent? I just put clove too. Clove represents vitality. What else you put? Nutmeg. Nutmeg is called Jaifal. Jaipal. Jai means victory. It gives you victory over all your obstacles. What else you put again? Hardi. Hardi represents beautification. But what is the beautification? When you are pure, when you are purified of sins. What else you put? Sugar. What does sugar represent? It represents sweetness. Sugar, what happened? How you get sugar? You take a piece of sugar cane and you grind it, and you grind it, and you squeeze it, and it come out dry, and you take the juice and you burn it. And then it come crystal, and we say, oh, this thing's sweet too bad. It represents that we must be like that. No matter how much people will ring us, and grind us, and burn us, and hurt us, we must in the end give sweetness to them. What else you offer? Canfa. Why you offer canfa in it for? Canfa is a cool thing. But when you burn canfa, it comes to nothing. Nothing remains. That, oh Lord, I want to be sinless. What else you put? Neem. Neem is antiseptic, it's healthy, and it's a favorite of the Devi. What else you put? Arahul flowers. You forget that? Flowers. Why you put flowers? Flowers represents the highest sacrifice of being who you supposed to be. When you get up in the morning and you jagjore the tree and take out all the flowers and pull the flowers, break the branch sometime, in your hustling to do puja, and you break up and damage the tree, when you go back tomorrow, the tree gives you an next flower again. That no matter what happens in life, you continue to give beauty, give goodness, continue to be one who contributes toward the development of beauty in the world. No matter what people do to you, continue to be your true self, loving and beautiful. You understand? You see the deep meaning of the dhar, and you forget one thing: water. Water. Ganga Jal. Purity. The Ganga flows and absorbs everybody's sin, makes everyone happy, and yet they still pollute her. Continue to purify and do good for the world, no matter how much time people will pollute you. And when you understand the philosophy of this pakadhar and you offer it, it is telling you how you should be, who you are truly, and this is what will make you close to the Devi. You see the meaning of it? It's not just go and mix up something quick and light a canfan offer it. You see the meaning of this dhar, what you're supposed to be like. When you hold this, it is telling you who you are, what you are, and become so at all times. And so, those who will fast now, as we chant Sri Durga Sharanam Mama, let us hear what happens. Devi Mata ki Jai! No puja, no dan or gift or charity in this world is compared to fasting for the Navratri. No matter how much charity you could do, no matter how gifts you can give, no matter how much puja you can do, if you will fast for the Navratri, for the 9 days or even the last 3 days, that is superior to everything. This year people asking me, how come you make no calendar? I say, because people will buy it. But my calendar gives you the 4 Navratri for the year. There are 4 Navratri, 2 called Gupta Navratri, and one is Chait Navratri, which we have in the beginning of the year, that we all celebrate Ram Navami at the end of it, and the Aswin Navratri. But there are 2 others. Every Navratri, you must fast. And every month, there is an Ashtami. In the 8th day, in the moonlight period, like Saturday is what is called new moon, you call that 0. And the day after new moon is the 1st day. So the 8th day, when you calculate it in the astrology, will become Ashtami. Every month there is 2 Ashtami, a Sukla Paksh Ashtami and a Krishna Paksh Ashtami. The first one in the moonlight period is for Durga Ma, and the second one in the dark night period is for Kal Bhairav Baba. So if you are a Bhairav Baba devotee, in the dark night there is Ashtami, you do Bhairav Baba puja. And every month there is a Durga Ashtami. And those of you who are the devotees of Durga Ma, you must fast on the 8th day every month and worship. This doesn't mean every Hindu. If you wish to do it, there's no issue. But if when the Pundit calculates your astrology and tells to you who is your Ishta Devata, then you will perform. All business people, I'll give you some secret here now. Don't tell the Syrian people. On the new moon day of every month is Lakshmi Puja. For the biggest day of Lakshmi Mata Puja is Amavasya in the month of Kartik. Kartik ke Amavasya is Diwali day, or what we call Lakshmi Puja. And every month on the new moon, you must perform Mahalakshmi Havan. I taught the Sunday service people here in Mandir how to perform Mahalakshmi Puja every month. That is what we do on Sunday service. We give you booklets and handouts to do your puja at home with your family. So, every new moon, all business people, you see, if you don't sacrifice, you don't get. If you don't give up your leisures and pleasures, you would not continue to have leisures and pleasures. One day for the month you can fast and sit and perform Havan and Puja. How do you perform the Lakshmi Puja? I tell you very simply. You know how you does really Lakshmi Puja for Diwali day? Every month do that. If you cannot make any sweet fruits, but you must cook some kheer, sweet rice. And you must have some fruits. And you do Puja and Havan to Lakshmi Mata and light 8 diyas and worship to her every new moon. And every month you do this. And the biggest festival is the new moon of the Kartik month, when we have Diwali. And every month on the 8th day of the moonlight period is for Devi Mata. And every month in the 8th day after the full moon is the Bhairav Baba Ashtami. So any fast that you can perform has no benefit as much as fasting in a Navratri. And even if you fast the last 3 days, it is still superior to anything you do whole year. When a person observes the Vrat of the Navratri, one will get money. You may not be a millionaire, but you'll always have. If you're a farmer, your produce will grow. You will have children. You will live to see your grandchildren. You will have happiness, long and healthy life. And when you leave this world, you will attain final beatitude, what we call moksha. Look at how we can burn away our sins. Remember, I told you I will give you a mantra on Facebook. I saw some people went on it. Some person asked me today that the Pundit tell them that is not for everybody and you will destroy yourself if you say it. Well, I told the person that I read the Durga Saptashati and I said it in Hindi for those who would know Hindi, and I said it in English for those who know English. And it didn't say don't teach it to anyone. It told us that when we recite this prayer to the Divine Mother every day, we will be freed from obstacle. It never say that this mantra can hurt anyone. It never say this mantra will kill anyone. People just don't understand when they read sometimes. It said no one can kill you, no one can overcome you, no one can destroy you. Which part of that say you can take that mantra and kill anybody? My mother doesn't teach us to kill anyone. My mother teaches us to build bridges and love everyone. So this is the mantra that we gave. You can go on the Charleville Shiv Mandir Hindu Dharmic Parishad Facebook site, and the mantra is there in Hindi, in Sanskrit, and in English. You can recite it 108 times to the Devi. Worship to her every day. Learn it and say it at least 9 times every morning. Worship to this mantra every time, and you will be successful. So worshipping to the Devi gives you all benefits in this world. For as I told you in the previous nights, that this is the age of the Durga. her worship is predominant. And when I say the worship of the Durga, I'm talking about worshiping the mother, not opening temple all about the place to collect money and fleece people. Some of these people don't know what they are doing, and then when they get problem, they just go by the Baba to get help. We must try to become a bhakta and serve the mother. And don't fool people and say, mother said do this, and mother said do that, and mother said do the other thing. You ever listen to your own mother, but you won't tell people mother say anything? So, those who want to become learned, pass their examination, be successful, they must fast in Navratri. Those who want to have children, you must fast and worship in Navratri. Those who want to have a better standard of living, they must fast and worship in Navratri. And if at least they perform these 3 last nights, all the blessings will definitely come to them. So mark it in your calendar. Put a red X by the last 3 days at least in every Navratri. Fast and worship. Even if a person has lost his wealth, if a king has lost his kingdom, if people have duped you and did fraudulent thing against you, worship to the mother and she will give you justice in these last 3 days at least. Many people do things to you. Don't go and pray to hurt them. Go to the mother and say, you must give a decision on my situation, and she will give peace to you. And those people who do not perform the fast of the Navratri and perform the Kanya Puja, what will happen to them? In their future existence, they will become diseased, impoverished, and troubled in mind. Why the Lord is telling us in the form of the mother to worship to children? Children are our future. We must love them and honor them. We must uplift them. We must never abuse them. Especially in today's world where there is so much pedophile, so many crimes against children. If we begin to worship to the children as divine manifestation, we will honor our children. We will instill love in them when we give love to them. You know that? In some of the Catholic faith, they worship children, they bless children. But Hindus are the only one who worship the children as a divine manifestation of love. And if you as a people can come and touch the children's feet and worship them, then you will never abuse your children. If we abuse our children, we will go to hell. We see so many things happening around the world where people are exploiting their children. And I tell you something, anytime a nation exploits their children, that nation will become destroyed. Look at a few years ago in India, how many children were being abused. They steal them from villages and carry them to work in factories. They steal them from their parents and burst their eyes, cut off their hand and send them to beg. At that time, India was in a downturn. And now we see, with this new Prime Minister, a Hindu Prime Minister, we see a change. India is growing because if children work, they get locked up, parents. Children have to go to school. And they're looking after the children. And if you just look at the history now, in the last 6 years, how India is developing, because Prime Minister Modi is saying children are not supposed to go to work, they have to go to school and get an education. And he's making it possible. And if Trinidad has to develop, we have to invest in our children. We have to love our children, live for our children. Don't abuse our children. Because if we abuse our children, we destroy their minds, and those will be the minds of the leaders in the next generation. But if you come today and you worship to them, and you continue that trend of loving your children as divine gifts, my friends, your children will be brought up with love. And our leaders will be filled with love, and they will be better people. And our country will develop again. Everything goes back to our land. It's not about politics. It's not about who ruling and who have money. It's what we do, how we live, how we interact with each other. And this is why in Sanatana Dharma we have institutionalized child worship as a divine form of the mother. And look to the children as divine gifts. How many parents just go to pray in the morning and say, God, thank you for the gift of my child? Therein alone is a blessing to you. Do you thank the Lord no matter if your child is 1 year or 41 years? Do you thank the Lord for your children? How many people today do not have that blessing to have any children? And they yearn for that, to be a mother or a father to give love. And you, who have the opportunity, are abusing your children. You may not beat them physically, but by your mouth you are skying them. You are not encouraging, you are only demanding. You have to pass, you have to this, you have to that. You want to live your life through your children, but why when you was a child you didn't study? Why you was breaking lakar bish? Why you running behind place and smoking cigarette? Why you wasn't going to school? But now you want your children to be what you couldn't be. No, your children must be what they're supposed to be. And you're supposed to mold them. You're supposed to encourage them. You're supposed to love them. And when they fail, you must tell them, don't worry, you will do better next time. But whenever you tell your children hurtful words, you are hurting the Devi. Whenever you tell your children, I'm disappointed in you, you are telling the mother you are disappointed with her. For she is the universal womb from which we have all come. She is our mother, Durga Devi. How could you tell her that you have given me a bad child when she has created good only? So my friends, I want you, when you look at your children, see the divine in your children. Love them. You know, Chanak Niti tells us, when your child is born between the time of birth to the time the child has 5 years, you must love your children. Shower all love. Give them good dular, you know. Play with them, teach them love. And between 5 years to 15 years, you have to be strict with your children. Ensure they get a good education. Be straightforward with them. And then after 15 years, when your child is 16 years, that child will be your friend. But nowadays, you want to make with children be friends from the time they're born. The children have no respect for you. You have to be firm with your children. Even Jasoda Mata give Lord Krishna little licks now and then and tie him up and think. So too, my mother will tie me up and all too. You know, thank God, you see, actually now she used to tie me all about like as a cattle. You know, but you have to be strict with your children. One day lady tied me 2 hand boy and she tied me in the Bogla Prof. You know, you cannot spare the rod and spoil your children. You cannot spare the rod and spoil your children. Crack them. You understand? Because why you don't abuse them, but you have to beat them. Forget what them crazy psychologists, them children smoking marijuana. Let me tell you, when you give your children a lash, you give them something to fear. What they fear? Repercussion of their bad action. That is why the children in the schools falling today. Now they could curse you. Now they could tell you what they want to tell you. But when I used to teach, I pulling out my belt, and I used to give them it, and I used to tell them, me I like to teach, and I go beat all them, and they go fire me. And so the parents would come and shake my hand and say, we can't control each other, and thank you, sir, for beating my child. But I tell you something, you have to be firm with your children. You see, giving them a little lash, give them a little slap on their foot, in their hand, give them a little whip and thing, give them a little belt and thing. You know what I'm telling them? It teaches them that when I do bad, there is a punishment. I must respect. But when your children do not get punishment for their bad action, and when they go to school and the teachers getting stressed because they cannot straighten them out, then those children are the ones who break in all the laws, who cursing everybody, disrespecting the police and those in authority, cursing anybody, any leaders, anyone. You know why? Because they were not brought up. They were not straightened. So this is why nothing is wrong with punishing your children. Nothing is wrong. Don't abuse them. But they have to learn repercussion for their bad action. And this is what makes them model citizens, responsible people, respectful people. So I may have turned the katha a little bit to explain to you in a short way the benefit of performing this puja of Divine Mother. All of us are lucky this evening to have come and worship. Next year we will have puja again, and you will all join with us. And if you cannot fast for the 9 days, then try it for the last 3 days. And if you did not fast, don't fast tonight. You're going to eat the food and we cook plenty. Fast 1 day, son. Fast 1 day. If you cannot fast the whole day, fast tomorrow. Get up in the morning, eat some fruits, drink some water, fill your tummy, and worship. And if you want to worship, what is the mantra to use? Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamundaya Viche. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamundaya Viche. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamundaya Viche. Recite that. So my friends, here ends my message this evening. May Divine Mother bless you all. Please let us all now stand as we have Devi Aarti. Praise Lord Devi Mata ki! सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत भागी तेरा पार न पाया, तेरा पार न पाया। गाओ
मेरी देवी पर्वतवासिनी तेरा पार न पाया, तेरा
तेरे द्वारे,
ब्रह्मा वेद पढ़े तेरे द्वारे,
अरे शंकर ध्यान लगाया, शंकर ध्यान लगाया रे भैया।
देवी पर्वत वासन तेरा भार न पाया, तेरा भार न पाया।
ऊंचे ऊंचे पर्वत बना देवालय,
ऊंचे पर्वत
बना देवालय,
अरे ऊंचे ऊंचे पर्वत बना देवालय,
ऊंचे पर्वत बना देवालय,
अरे नीचे शहर बसाया, नीचे शहर,
देवी पर्वत वासन तेरा भार न पाया, तेरा भार न पाया।
सतयुग त्रेता द्वापर मध्ये,
युग त्रेता द्वापर
हे भैया सतयुग त्रेता द्वापर मध्ये,
युग त्रेता द्वापर
अरे कलयुग राज समाया, कलयुग राज समाया,
बोलो
सुनमोरी देवी पर्वत वासन तेरा भार न पाया, तेरा भार न पाया।
गोपदीप नैवेद्य चढ़ावे,
धूपदीप नैवेद्य आरती,
दीपदीप नैवेद्य आरती,
धूपदीप नैवेद्य आरती,
अरे मोहन भोग लगाया, मोहन भोग लगाया,
सुनमोरी देवी पर्वत वासन तेरा भार न पाया, तेरा भार न पाया।
भानु भगत मैया तेरी गुण गावे,
भानु भगत मैया तेरे गुण गावे,
हे मैया भानु भगत मैया तेरी गुण गावे,
भानु भगत मैया तेरे गुण गावे,
अरे मन वांछित फल पाया, मन वांछित फल पाया, गाओ रे,
देवी पर्वत वासन तेरा भार न पाया, तेरा भार न पाया। सुनमोरी देवी पर्वत वासन तेरा भार न पाया, तेरा भार न पाया।
अरे तेरा पार न पाया, अरे तेरा पार न पाया। Praise the Lord, भगवती मैया की जय। Let us clasp our hands and close our eyes as we surrender before our Divine Mother, as we ask her, Divine Mother, shower your love and blessings to us all. Let us feel your presence at all times, whether we are in Mandir, whether we are at home, whether we are at work, wherever we are. Let us know that you are with us and your love is never failing us. O Divine Mother, let us all live in this world as a family as we worship together. Hari Om. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva. Tvameva
बंधु जस घातमेव,
Tvameva Vidya.
द्रविणं त्वमेव,
Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Praise Lord Durga Maiya ki
जय।
महालक्ष्मी मैया की
जय।
श्री सरस्वती माता की
जय।
भद्रकाली मैया की
जय।
उमापति महादेव की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। उड़ैसा जगन्नाथ की जय। वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। शरणम सत्य सनातन धर्म की Jai Jai Sitaram.